Hello, Steven. How you doing? So, elephant in the room. Does it count as an elephant in the room? Maybe. I'm late. You were late. We were both late. Certainly not indicative of things to come, I don't think. You know, I think you put it best when you said that, time is a construct. Hey Steve, just wanted to make a quick interjection here and say that technically your quote was not just time is a construct, your quote was time is a construct, and so is pants, and so is death. I only wanted to make that clarification because I think the actual quote is so much better than the wrong one, and I don't know if that quote is technically from you, if you came up with that or not, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, bye. A construct that matters, of course, but, matters to us? So, I'm doing a political video today. A political video? Oh no! I think we both knew this was coming. I'm pretty political, as a general rule. Now, I am not doing a video on, like, the whole political boogaloo that's really going on right now. You know, yes, I would kind of like to do a video where I talk about current events, and there are certainly current events to talk about right now. But if I had anything useful to say, and perhaps I do, about the current ongoing political situation, what with COVID, and what with the riots, and what with there being an autonomous revolutionary controlled zone in Seattle, I would probably put it on my personal Instagram. And I have been active on my personal Instagram talking about ongoing current events because, you know, more than 0 people see what I put on my personal Instagram. So I'm just going to do a broad video today about politics that are abstract and essentially useless. Because who cares? This channel is just us. We are the only viewers. So you know, I'm really far left. Some would even call me a dirty, godless communist, and they would be right. Now, there's a quote I really like by folk singer, visionary, and fellow dirty, godless commie, Pete Seeger, where he goes, talking about Republican Senator Barry Goldwater? Yeah. I like to say I'm more conservative than Goldwater. He just wants to turn the clock back to when there was no income tax. I want to turn the clock back to when people lived in small villages and took care of each other. And I think that's an interesting perspective. I too am a conservative in that case, a reactionary even. Because much as I am a communist, and in any useful political sense, an extreme progressive, what I really want is for there to just be a general acknowledgement in the politosphere that we as people need each other and need to take care of each other. And I really think that would be a return to something rather than an introduction of something new. I mean, when we were hunter-gatherers, which was, you know, the vast majority, some 98% of all human history, it was abundantly, poignantly clear that we needed each other and that we needed to take care of each other. The survival of the group was the survival of the individual. There was, like, not a distinction. I believe that to still be true, but we can ignore it. Like, how many people's labor was needed for me to just eat lunch today? Hundreds, right? And yet nothing forces me to know or care what happens to those people. Though I'll tell you what probably happens to a lot of those people who work to make the cheap mozzarella sticks I had for lunch today is that they work in disgusting slave labor conditions for a tiny wage that nobody could conceivably survive on. Now, I'm not saying we should regress to a primitive society with a low life expectancy and a high infant mortality rate. I think the advances which have made a better life possible for you and me are good things. But I think we as humans are destroying ourselves by losing the communal social ethic. You know, as we've made life better in the sense of what life can potentially be, we've lost the things that used to make life better than it is now. I think it's kind of paradoxical, this about humans, that we keep making life better, but we can't seem to keep life good. The question I just keep asking is that in a post-scarcity, post-industrial age, why is it that having enough for everybody doesn't automatically mean everybody has enough? Jeff Bezos owns enough wealth to feed entire nations, and all he has to do is own stock. He doesn't have to work as hard as someone who farms an industrial plantation in Indonesia. And the code of ethics which has led to that state of affairs, I think is really a rather new thing. A product of maybe the last 3,000 some years, you know, just the time when people have had civilization. So the question I keep asking myself when it comes to my political ideology is it reasonable to ask that people can live in a comfortable post-industrial society while acting toward each other as if they were hunter-gatherers? And honestly, I think this ideal basically sums up my entire political philosophy. So this video was trivial and useless, I am aware, and I don't care. Bye, Steve.